Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everyone is having an incredible day. Now today guys, I'm going to be talking about a very unusual and a bit of a naughty cactus plant, and that is the booby cactus, which is this rather remarkable, very unusual and rare cactus plant. Now this, the booby cactus, its real name is Myrtillocactus geometrizans, cultivar Fukurokuryuzinboku. I think that's how you pronounce it. What a bit of a tongue twister. And it is actually nicknamed the booby cactus or the titty cactus for obvious reasons, because its little, the little tubercles on this cactus are actually shaped a little bit like women's breasts, and the areoles, which are where the spines come from, are actually right at the very tip of these breast-like little tubercles, if you can call them that, on the stem of this cactus, resembling little breast tips, as you can say, nipples. And so what about this booby cactus? Now, this is actually, the booby cactus is a monstrose cultivar, a Japanese monstrose cultivar of the more commonly seen Myrtillocactus geometrizans. And as I say, it has unusual ribs. These ribs here shaped like little breasts that resemble women's breasts, or men's breasts if they're big enough. And because the areoles that come out the end here look like little nipples, it has got the common nickname of the booby cactus or the titty cactus. Now, it's a very rare and expensive cactus plant to buy. It's not often commonly seen for sale. I think the only chance of really getting this to buy really is from some of the specialist online cactus stores, shops. You wouldn't really find this down your local florist shop or your local garden centre, because it is very sort of rare. It's becoming a lot more common now to find in cultivation, because it's starting to really take off, and because of its unusualness, it is definitely rising in popularity. And this cactus here, as I say, it's a Japanese monstrose cultivar of the Myrtillocactus geometrizans, and it would grow in its sort of, it says had to say natural habitat, as I say, it's a monstrose cultivar. But the traditional geometricans would normally grow about 4.5 meters tall, and which is about 178 inches, and about 10 centimeters thick, which is about 4 inches thick. And I haven't actually seen any of these, the booby cactus, that size. I've only ever really seen them this size, even on the internet, but apparently they will grow to the same size as the traditional Myrtillocactus geometrizans will. So that's up to 4.5 meters tall and 10 centimeters thick. Very, very wonderful. So then that's a little bit about this really wacky, unusual cactus. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the care now, how to care for this cactus. Now, this particular cactus likes like a lot of cacti do, like a nice sunny spot. But when they're very young, say less than about 3 inches high, then they do prefer to have a little bit more shade that has a little bit of maybe indirect sun. Once they get past the very young stage, then they can be treated a bit much more like a lot of the desert cacti, and they like a lovely sunny spot. Now, if you've got a cutting, these are often sold for sale online as cuttings, then when you pot it up, then it's important you give it a little bit more of a shadier spot just for the first couple of months until it takes root. Then after that, you can put it into full sunshine again. So just bear that in mind if you purchase one of these online and it's not already rooted up. And so then talking about the soil. Now, like a lot of cacti, the majority are desert type of cacti, this cactus likes a very well draining soil mix. And I like to make my own cactus soil, not just for this cactus, but for all my desert type of cacti, of 3 equal parts of a loam-based soil mixed with grit and mixed with horticultural sharp sand in 3 equal parts. And if you want to know how I make my own cactus and succulent soil, including the soil for the booby cactus, do check out a video I have made on how to make your own cactus and succulent soil. Links up above and at the end screen of this video. Now, watering. Now, as I say, they need to be very well draining soil, and that goes with the watering. These plants like to fully dry out in the spring and summer before watering again. So from spring and summer, give a good water. So the soil in the pot is thoroughly wet and then allowed to completely dry out again before watering again. And in the winter time, keep totally dry. This cactus likes a cool and dry overwintering period, and watering during the winter months can cause rot. And I'd only really water this particular cactus, the booby cactus, if it was showing signs of shriveling, it was getting very shriveled, then I'd give it a bit of water and help it plump up again. But if not, it's best to leave totally dry over the winter and then start watering again from spring and summer. And fertilizing, well, obviously the winter, you don't need to do anything there. Spring and summer, I would recommend fertilizing this cactus about every 3 to 4 weeks. Certainly at least once a month with a good quality cactus and succulent fertilizer. And temperature. Now, the Myrtillocactus geometrizans, and this is the same with the booby cactus because the care is the same, more or less, for this cactus. They are not particularly that cold hardy. They can take much cooler temperatures if they're kept totally dry. But personally myself, I would not recommend keeping this cactus any lower in the winter than 10 degrees Celsius, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Lower than this can cause stem damage and sort of blackening of the stems, and at the worst case rot. So personally, this is only my opinion, minimum winter temperature at 10°C, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And in the summer, you know, these cacti can take plenty of high heat and against sunshine, as long as ventilation can be given. If you have this cactus behind a sunny window or in a greenhouse where it can cook, if it goes above 100 degrees in there, make sure that you have windows open, and you can also provide plenty of ventilation on very hot days. If that can be provided, these cacti can take plenty of sunshine and plenty of heat. Now, repotting. Obviously, the common sense will be as soon as the cactus outgrows its pot, it's time to pot it on, and that would be the best advice I could give. Always repot during the growing season, spring and summer. I wouldn't recommend repotting in winter unless it's an absolute emergency and you have root rot or any other reason to have to repot in the winter. But spring and summer is always best. And if the plant seems pretty okay in its pot and you haven't repotted every year, I would recommend repotting then every other year, just to freshen up the soil and give it a bit of a boost to the plant to have its soil changed. So I'd say recommending every 1 to 2 years. And flowering. Now, these particular cacti will only flower when they're mature, and they need to be a minimum of about 60 centimetres tall, which is about 24 inches high, before they'll flower. Tiny, very pretty little white flowers, white greeny flowers will form, and then little fruits will form after. Now, I've never seen this, obviously this one I have here, I've not had flower for me yet, hopefully in the future, but I've never actually seen any of the booby cacti flower in photographs or anything, so it is still a new cultivar, which is probably one of the reasons why, but it'd be good to see flowers on this, hopefully one day in the future. And there we go, yeah, propagation, and then I'm pretty much covered with everything. Propagation, now, as I say, these will produce seed, but because it's a monstrose cultivar, if you were to get seeds from this particular cactus and sow them, the seeds are going to grow like the traditional, more common seen geometricans, Myrtillocactus geometricans. It's just going to grow normal. It won't grow with the boobs. So the only way you're going to get a copy of this is by taking cuttings. So for this particular cultivar, if you want to propagate it, I'd only do it from cuttings, and obviously from spring and summer, allowing the cut part of the cactus to completely dry out. For anything from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on the diameter of the cutting, and then treating as a cutting by putting up in dry cactus soil. And that's pretty much it. Now, like all cacti and succulents, they're prone to mealybug, spider mite, And what I would recommend then, if it comes down with it, is to use neem oil as a horticultural preventative for bugs and as a treatment as well. And I've made quite a few videos on using neem oil to prevent and also treat mealybug and spider mite on cactus plants. So links up above to that video, and also at the end screen as well. And there you go, guys, that's pretty much it for this amazing, wacky and very unusual cactus. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents, please do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And if you haven't done already, please do subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell, ding ding. So guys, I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus booby power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye. Bye. Isn't it wacky, guys?